I guess that goes into how do you even end the season or friendship with the season of the friendship? How do you do that? Because for me, I feel like the person also knows our season is ending, but is always expecting me to initiate the ending.
Welcome to Her Side of the Story. This is the podcast where sister friends tell their side of the story about relationships, lifestyle, challenges, and triumphs. Here are your hosts, Ray and Ash.
Welcome to our very next episode of Her Side of the Story, where sister friends Ray and
Ash
tell their side of the story in relationships, lifestyles. We talk about our challenges and triumphs. Here we talk about it all. Let's dive into the next part of our series, Seasons, Reasons, and Lifetime.
So I think we last left off with just how important friendship was and how to maintain friendship, right? So I feel like really the next step is to talk about how to, categorizing, I guess, really your friends. And I hate to use the word categorizing because that sounds
but I feel like it can be very appropriate.
It can. You're right. But I guess more so your friends, putting them in a seasons, reasons, or lifetime category, essentially.
Well, I mean, I guess I could clear that up. I don't know if I necessarily agree with putting them in a seasons, reasons, lifetime category, but I do find that some friends are better served in different areas of my life. Yes. So, with that, you don't know once they enter your life whether they're going to be a season, reason, or lifetime friend. But I think it's important to know when a season ends with a friend.
I agree. I think it's important to know that. I feel like, especially as I've gotten older, I've become more self-conscious of that, of making sure to end friendships when it's past their season. So,
right.
What are some signs the season has ended? Like, what for you? Like, what are some signs that are no longer supporting you? I mean,
I feel like my biggest sign is that folks start moving different. Just like there's awareness, there's an awkwardness that you can't explain when y'all are now around each other. Right. That lets me know a season is likely coming to an end. Now, if I do feel like that's going on, I'll address it. Like, oh, I noticed this is what's going on. I'm very good with asking, like, oh, is something going on with you? Because how selfish is it to assume that people's problems are about you? I also feel like another sign for me that a season, a friendship season is coming into an end is that your friend wants to reflect so much on the past you. It's like they're not growing with you. Like they're used to you acting a certain way. And they haven't shifted their vision of you. Like, for instance, I can say, like, in college, I was, I wouldn't even say a party animal, but I'm fun. Like, I'm fun. And I mean, I'm still fun, but I'm different in my fun. Like, I don't really do clubs like that anymore. Like, I want to go try a new experience. And so friends will be like, oh, you don't go to the club no more? That ain't what you on? Like, I feel like that lets me know the season's coming to an end, especially if they feel a way about it. Or be accusatory, like you acting brand new. And I'll also throw this plug in here. I don't know if it fits in seasons, but I just think it's important for everybody to know. You have to pay very close attention to what people say. Like, I feel like seasons and friends who they shift how they felt about you, it comes out, but you just have to be listening. Like, I've had friends call me arrogant, and I can be arrogant, but I'm usually not like that with my friends. So, even if you're working on it, let's say that is a bad quality I have, like, you work on it and the friend's still saying, well, you're this, you're that, you think you're this, you're that. Like, you know, but as them being my friend, they should know I worked hard for everything that I have. So why would you say I'm being arrogant? So, you know, things like that. What about you? How do you know a season's coming to an end?
I think I know when sometimes for me a season's coming to an end where I'm just not excited to see that person anymore. Like, it's almost like a chore. Honestly, like it's like, okay, I'm gonna see them today. Let me brace myself. Like it should never be that way. Like, oh, let me brace myself to see my friend.
Yeah, it should be pure excitement.
Yeah, excitement. And for me, I think a lot of times it's like, oh, let me brace myself, or I'm just not excited, or I leave our outing, our situation, just very drained, like drained, zapped, just feeling like questioning why this person is in my life. And sometimes, like, you know me, I've been, before we even started this podcast, I've been saying, I think that I am, and I guess for me, I am in a season of, speaking of seasons, of categorizing people. And that might sound very, very harsh. And I'm not a harsh person by any means, but I do think I just have to do that to protect myself in this moment. Because I do think there's people who show up for me 10 times more than other people. And those people, they're my friends, but they're not my friend. You get what I mean? Like it's just not like that anymore. And that's okay. And I still like them in my life in more than an acquaintance capacity. But the season of maybe them being someone I saw for a lifetime is just not in there anymore. You know? So I think for me, that's what it would have to be. It would definitely have to be just feeling drained, feeling unexcited, feeling just like almost like it's a job. Like, oh, let me check on her. It's been 3 weeks, haven't heard. Let me text her now. Like, I don't know. I feel like with your friends, it doesn't feel like a job. It shouldn't.
Yeah.
It should feel like, girl, like the moment you see something that reminds you of your friend or something.
You're thinking about them.
You're thinking about them. You're sending them the girl, I just saw this, or, oh, look at this dress. Like, look at it. Like even the other night.
Yeah.
Like that night it was literally like 1 a.m. and I knew you would be asleep, but I saw that dress. I was like, this is a dress that Ray and I would definitely wear, like the open back and everything. It was just nice. So it was like, you just think of your friend and it's so seamless and you just want to share and send. And I also think I know a season's ending for me where I conceal my excitement of certain things, right? Like if I've accomplished something, I'm not sharing with them anymore.
I can relate to that heavy.
Yeah, like you kind of said, I just don't feel like they're not someone I prioritize sharing it with.
Yeah, but doesn't that become weird for you? Like, oh, we used to share everything together. Like, you know, from something small to like, oh, we graduated, we got, you know, our masters, we got this, like big things, like everything was celebrated together. But then, you know, you call with the same exciting news or, you know, new news. And it's just like, oh, you don't even get a congrats anymore. That's how you know a season is ending. Really, you don't even get a congrats.
Yeah, I agree. It is weird. And I feel like for me, it's hurtful. Like it really hurts me. Because I'm just someone who believes, I'm such a believer in like community.
Yeah.
And doing life is not fun without, especially your girlfriends. Like, yes, I have guy friends and we can get to that too. But this is probably very wrong of me, but I hold my guy friends to a different standard. I don't hold them to the same standard of my girlfriends. I just don't. They, I guess, are what I would categorize as reason friendships, my guy friends. Some of them definitely will be lifetime friends and I've grown with them, but I just hold them in a different category. I feel like maybe I give them a little bit more grace. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know, but I just do. I feel like it's like, okay, I haven't heard from my guy friend in 5 weeks and they call me and it's like nothing. But I also think that's men. Like men can do that, right? Like I don't know if guys, because I'm not a man, some guys talk every day to their friends or at least have like a massive group chat that they're like throwing stuff all day in. they may not call, but they're definitely texting each other and tweeting each other, whatever men do. But it's, yeah, I feel like if one of my girlfriends, I don't hear from her for 5 weeks, we got problems.
Especially when your communication level was every day or at least 2 times a week, all of a sudden it's like radio silence.
Yeah.
Or, just not your usual pattern.
Yeah, I agree.
And I will say too, a lot of like disagreements, I feel like, your friend you should be able to talk to. Like I feel like they're a little different from family. Like, family you can't choose, but with your friends, you're choosing to have a relationship. So therefore you should want to work it out at all, at all levels. And if you don't want to work it out, then, the signs start showing. Like I said, the awkwardness, you're not feeling excited, like what you said. Mm-hmm. So, I just be like, okay. But I will say this. We know that I be like, my season's going a little bit too long. Like,
yeah. I agree. I think that's that loyalty that you hold so important, back to episode 1 of like a characteristic you look for in a friend and vice versa is loyalty. So when you're loyal to someone, sometimes you can allow your loyalty to blind you from the things they're doing. And I agree. I think I used to be like that. Mm-hmm, right. Mm-hmm. I used to be so loyal and blinding to someone. And once it took one of my best friends to say to me and be like, what are you doing? Like this is not, this season for you and this person has ended, come to a halt, finished, complete. Like, why are you doing this? Like, I don't, she's like, and I was just like, no, longevity, time. Mm-hmm. I know this person, so I guess that goes into how do you even end the season or friendship with the season of the friendship. How do you do that? Because for me, I feel like the person also knows our season is ending, but is always expecting me to initiate the ending. And because of that, I then can look insensitive or like the bad guy or like, oh, she didn't want to be my friend anyway. That's what a lot of, if you were to ask not a lot of people, but a few people, I'm sure, would say, oh, she just didn't want to be my friend. She didn't want to be my friend. And it's like, no, it's not that I didn't want to be your friend. I just don't think we're acting like a good friend. So I feel like usually I have to end the friendship. And a lot of the times it's, my 3 strike rule that comes to play, I would say really, really crucial for me with ending a friendship. I give you 3 strikes, like 3 strikes more than I would have. So really now we're at 6 and just sometimes pull the plug. And I would say I've never had full closure with a friendship ending. I never had us mutually agreeing this friendship is no longer serving either of us. We care for each other. We love each other, but we're moving separate. I've never had that. I've had, like you said, the person goes MIA. You stop talking. And that's it. Mm-hmm. That's what I've had. What have you had?
Well, I've had different experiences for sure. So, I believe in a friend breakup. Like, we going to have a conversation. I'm going to write you a letter. I'm going to send you a text message. You're going to know why I'm not speaking to you. Like, I just don't believe in going ghost because you got to think about the time somebody ghosted you for whatever reason. Like, you have to walk through life like, damn, why that person stopped talking to me? Why that person, like, what did I do? Mm-hmm. So, it's not, I would say I handle it gracefully. It's not so much that it's about the person. Like, you did this, you did this, you did this, you did that to me. So, I'm like, hey, I've been noticing these things. This is how it's making me feel. And honestly, it seems like where this is coming to an end. It ain't no love lost. I'm always going to have love for you. And yeah, you could still even hit me up on the holidays. Like my line of communication is going to always be open because that's just me. But as for I think the expectations of friendship can get heavy for some people. So that expectation that we might have established, like, hey, gotta call me every day. got to do this, got to do that, or I'm gonna feel away. That's too much pressure. And that's like another way to like delegate, like, is this person for a season, a reason, or a lifetime? Because if it's causing that much like grief, discomfort, because it becomes like a duty, like you said, then, you know, you might want to second guess that friendship. So I said I've had friendship breakups. Like, I'm not going to sit here and play like an all-star because I've gone ghost before on a friend. Like, I have. And, you know, it's not something that I think is right. I do understand it. I think it's a bit easier, but I can't say that I've gone ghost with somebody really, really close that I had contact with every single day. Now,
Right.
like, I've gone ghost with somebody who over time it's just been drifting, and I might have seen something I ain't like it, and it was what it was, because, you know, you gotta choose your battles. Like, okay, you moving like this. What do we have? We don't need to talk.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk. So yeah, I mean, that's how I usually try to end. I try to end it, like, if it's somebody who's been in my life for a long time, I try to end it with a conversation. I don't believe
Yeah.
in sending anyone else to have the conversation but the two parties. So I've had that too, where a friend was clearly trying to break up with me and they sent somebody else. I'm like,
No.
where's she at? If she wants to speak to me, then she, you know, we need to work it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I ended. I try to remain as cordial as possible, because you have to remember, at one point in time, y'all were very
Love
important.
yeah, very close. And I agree. So I agree. I guess I wouldn't say I ghost, but I do. I feel like one thing about me, the moment I feel my relationship is shifting with someone, I address it with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's for me. And, or at least maybe not before, it would be the moment. Now it's like, let me take a step back, because am I just in my feelings? Because sometimes we be in our feelings about
for sure.
the way the person is interacting with you. And I'm watching, and it's like, okay, let me now address it. Because and if I'm addressing it with you, just know I care. Like, I care for our relationship. So I agree. I think I would say, handle it a little bit better, because I would have that conversation. Okay, this time feeling, the person's like, oh no, we're good. And then I try to hang out, do this, don't really get, oh, I'm busy, I'm this, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then this is the June Cancer in me. I retreat. I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to talk to you. Don't need to interact with you. I've tried with you. I'm not going to have another conversation with you. I'm not going to write you nothing. Like, that is me. That's why I say I think you handle it better, because there's no sense of closure. But when I see you, I'm cordial. I'm naturally a cordial person. Mm-hmm. So there's no beef. But if you want to,
you know, when you see them, you get a little like,
yeah, when I see them,
haven't talked, it's harder to be authentically cordial.
Absolutely. Because it's a little awkward. It's a little weird. It's that weird, like, in between small talk that you really don't care about. And then sometimes I just want to say, I want my, like, sometimes I'm like, do I want this person back?
I think, but look, I think that's natural. Like, there's been some breakups, friendship breakups that I've had that, you know, after a while, degrees of separation, even we were not talking for a year or so and we got back. Cool. Yeah. So, like, I think that's a possibility too. But, you know, at that point in time, their season was ended. Now they're here again. So, you know, it could very well be a new season. I had a conversation with some young women a few months ago, and they were like, sometimes you could rehash a friendship and it could be stronger than before.
I
that has never been my experience. It's just like a timer is still ticking.
Yeah, I agree. So that I agree with. That happened with me and Joe, where we had separated for years, 5 years.
It's a long time.
Yeah. Of not being friends. And in 5 years of, like, a very, I would say, pivotal moment of, like, a young adult's life. So from 17 to 21, 22 of age. So that means all of college, no communication.
Yeah, that's kind of wild.
I don't know. If I remember correctly, I did not seek the friendship to be rekindled. I was told I was going to a dinner with LC. And the next thing, Jill's at the table. And I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
Ambush.
Like, ambush on both of their ends, right? So just for clarity for the audience, Elsie and Jill are two of my longest, I would say, best friends, really my sisters. And we're all friends. Tres amigas, we're all friends. And Jill and Elsie, even though Jill and I were no longer friends, had their own relationship, Elsie and I have always been together, right? So I come to this dinner and I'm like, absolutely not. This is not happening. Not interested. And she starts crying. I'm like, here we go. Like, this is savage, Ashley. Because I'm usually like crying.
You have no heart.
I'm usually I was like on savage mode. I'm usually a crier. So I was like, okay, and then I sat there, like you said, kind of awkward. My guard was up because here's this person. I don't even talk to her. I don't even know her Instagram. Like, we're not friends anymore. And, whatever, left the dinner. And she was like, I really want to regain our friendship and your trust again. Like, I need you in my life. And I'm like, I don't know about this. So of course I come home, tell Mama Edith, and she's like, that's someone who I agree should be in your life. I was like, oh no, Mom, because really there was no reason for us not to be friends. Like, I don't remember what caused us not to be friends, right? So it was very much like, okay. And we started to rekindle. And honestly, that is the best, maybe one of the best things that's ever happened to us. Because I agree. I think our friendship is 10 times stronger than it was before. And I feel like before was very subsurface. And now it's very deep. And I agree. I do think sometimes you can not be friends with someone, and you and I are very spiritual, religious people. God, I believe, puts certain people in your path in your life. And for me, that was one friendship that God was just like, you have to have in your life. And he was right. Like, he was very, very, very right. And that is the only time I've stopped being friends with someone and rekindled that it's really worked and has really been a blessing. So I agree. I think how you end it matters. It can be a difficult conversation, but sometimes I think the season has to come to an end.
Yeah, I'm all for seasons coming to an end because we touched on it. Once they surpass and you let them go past their expiration date, it becomes too draining. Like you said, it feels like a chore. You have to brace yourself, and it's all this other stuff that we're dealing with in life. Like, I'm not trying to brace myself with my friend. It's like, you're supposed to either be having a good time or crying on each other's shoulders about the weight of the world. But I shouldn't have to brace myself with you too. That's too much.
I agree. So talking about now that we spoke about seasons, reasons, and lifetimes, what is a reason? Like, I know we've spoke about this before, but a reason type of friend, like I said, a referral type of friend.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead.
As we would say, now that you're in this space, like for yourself, do you have reason friends? Or are they still lifetimers? Are they still do you have friends for reasons?
So I definitely have reasons friends now. Like, I'm not a reasons friend type of girl, but when you get older and, people, so all my friends that I currently have, I feel like they've been around for a while, like a long time. Some, but I don't have any new ones underneath for 5 years. I don't think. I have some potentials, but I don't have any new ones under like 5 years being around. Like, there's friends. I don't even know how to put this. I give it too much. But yeah, no, there's friends for reasons, and it's important not to have them for more than their reason or their occasion. So, I have a friend that's good for partying. I have a friend that's good for traveling. I have a friend, I know not to tell her nothing deep because she don't really care. So if we want to talk about men, that's the reason we're talking. That's not my preference. I'm greedy. I want all my friends to have everything that I'm looking for. So reason friends are hard for me to balance because it's just like, why are we talking? Like, you're only good for this. You don't really care about how my day went. You just want to know the tea. And I don't got no tea today. And if that's what all you're calling me for, then that's a waste of my time, really. So, I have a few reasons, friends. Then I got some that, like, I love them as a person, but there's an age gap. So there's some differences there. But I'm just like, a few more years, we're going to be tight, just because I've been through experiences that they may not have been through yet, or they've been older friends. They've been through experiences that I don't have the understanding yet because I haven't experienced it or had somebody relatively close. And for my young friends, they gotta enjoy their life. They going to the club, they wearing what they want to wear. I can't do that no more. I mean, I can, but I don't.
You can. Yeah, you can.
I'd rather look good on an island or something, or a nice dinner.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I can't go out half dressed because my man ain't having that. But
yeah, I would say I have reason friends, and not in a negative context. I would say I have friends who I feel like my reason friends have crossed over into my lifetime friends or becoming that. Like one of my really good girlfriends who you met at my birthday, she's really my accountability partner when it comes to working out. Like we work out together. Shout out to Orange Theory. If you want to sponsor this episode, just let us know. But we work out together almost at least 4 times a week. We try to. Like she texted me today, like, "Hey, happy Monday. Are you going today?" I was like, "Yeah, I signed up." Like, she's like, "All right, I'm gonna be there too," kind of thing. So that's a reason. But I will say, I have known her since I was 5 as well. Being in real estate in that industry, I definitely think you have reason friends too, who can become very, very good friends. But there's some of my friends in real estate who is like, oh, I know she knows the contractors. I'm going to text her. I'm going to reach out to her. Be like, hey, girl. Hey, sis, I'm like, listen, I have a client who's flipping this house. Who's the contractor you used on that one flip? It looks so good. So that's the reason too. I think I definitely think and know I have friends for reasons who have turned into very, very good friends who maybe at first I just thought were okay, I met them here or whatever the case may be, and they're not going to kind of blossom into anything else, but they really have shocked me, and they really, really have. And I think for me, my reason friends, I usually am seeking them to learn something I don't know, to also hopefully in the end offer them something that they didn't know either. So yeah, I think friends for a reason. I feel like a lot of times it has a very negative connotation with it, but I think it could be also positive. I think you can have friends for a reason in a positive light. You might have a friend who you pray with, right? Because that person's spirit is just so powerful and strong. And when they pray for you, it's like you just get to go on your knees, right? You just literally relax. You might have a friend who she knows all the new fashions. That's your girl. Oh, sis, well, I have a wedding. What? Oh, girl, you need to go here because that's the newest place to shop, or that's the new place to get your hair done or your nails done or whatever it may be. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think when I was younger, I definitely would have been like, oh, friends first, they're just using me. But it's like, and some people do. Let's not get it wrong. Some people are meant to, or some people want to drain you. Like Marlo Hampton said from Real Housewives of Atlanta, oh, today drained me. Some people want to, and we do not allow that in our atmosphere. So I do think reason friends are good. I think you sometimes have to use a little caution with them. But I think in the end, depending on both parties, I think it could be really a fruitful and beautiful relationship.
Honestly, I love how you worded that, and it's like opposite of like how I thought. Like I just think like, oh, they're around for a reason. They're not a true friend, and I think about that makes me reflect on friends who I thought were reasons, and then they're here a lifetime. Like I feel like we started off as reasons for sure. Like, we were coworkers.
Yeah.
Then we were kind of cool. Then we was real cool, and, and now we looking at lifetime. So, yeah,
I agree, because you're right. We were coworkers. We needed each other to get the job done. Essentially,
Yep.
we were a team of people. So it's easier when you're friends with your other colleagues, right? No one wants to go to work and be beefing with their colleague. It don't make it fun, especially when you have to work very intimately with them. So it just naturally made sense for us to grow with each other, and it became a reason. And I think that spending almost every day together in that office is like, okay, this is someone who I really love and really care, is so caring. You're such a caring person. So it's like, how could I not be attracted to that?
Yeah, we had fun in the office.
We definitely have fun in the office.
Anytime I worked with you, that was a good shift.
It was a good
because it's other people. I was like, I was sitting here. So they're being shady. I don't like a shady person, like secretly shady. If you're gonna be shady out. Yeah, I don't like no passive aggressiveness. Like sitting here on the internet typing about me. That I experienced that.
Girl, not typing about you on the internet while they're sitting next to you.
Listen, I don't know. We were talking, and I was telling her a story. But some people just want to be cool, and they don't care that it hurts your feelings or whatever. Just they want a little content. So we were sitting there and we're having a conversation, and I look over. You remember how close that desk was?
Yeah, no, that you, and especially because there was a computer there, right?
It was only one computer. Yeah, we were like thigh to thigh almost, because that's how close that desk was. So I just happened to glance over, and no, I wasn't being nosy, but the Lord said, "Look to the right." It was like, I just hate it when somebody's talking to me and I have to pretend I'm listening. First of all, we're laughing, but my feelings were hurt. This was somebody.
A Facebook post?
Yeah, this is somebody I thought was no. I don't know. I think she posted to her wall. Remember the wall back then? Was it the wall?
What was the wall?
Like on a person's page where they post their thoughts, their statuses.
On Facebook, right?
I feel like it was called a wall back then.
Oh, baby, child.
She posted on her wall. Like this, what I didn't know what would make a person do that. Just type that and just say like, yeah. And I knew she was talking about me. She was talking about me, right?
No, definitely talking about you. Because why in that moment when you're telling her something would she then go and do that? She's definitely talking about you, bro. Like
I just had to work to her after that. And this was the OG of the office. This was somebody I really, really admired. Yes, that's the word. Go ahead. I said thought like me. Somebody I really admired. Like she would give me conversations because she was a few years older than me. I think she was almost married or married before, something like that. Yeah, I was just like, damn, that's cold. That's cold. So
OMG.
I think I went on a tangent. I forgot where we were at, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was saying some shifts were better than others.
Yes.
That was a bad shift. I was hurt. I didn't say a word to her. If it wasn't about our job months, weeks after that, I had nothing to say. And we're like friends on like professional networks and stuff like that.
Like, now.
Yeah, still.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, she's very well accomplished.
Yeah.
That's someone I thought would be a lifetime friend. Let me throw that in there. Yeah. That's someone I thought would be a lifetime friend. But in that moment, she just, I had to take that back because that was shady and cold-blooded. Well, I will say, I am blessed to have some friends that are lifetime. I have a friend who's been with me like since our freshman year in high school. I did meet a few of my lifetime friends in college. Just like our relationship continues to grow. It's always a vibe. It's always hype when we see each other, which is important. And then, I feel like I've gotten some wild cards lately, like, with newer friends that I met, like walking the dog or being neighbors. And, they all have, like you said, some type of quality that I really admire. And I feel like they can teach me, like you said earlier, like I got one friend who prays, like every time she pray, like I'm crying, getting it all out. And, I feel like for her, I'm, a good listening ear. I show up. She isn't used to people showing up. If she say there's something going on, she got something for her daughter, I'm there. So, it's definitely a give or take thing with the lifetime friends. You can't just, it can't be one-sided.
I agree. It definitely can't be. In order to maintain a lifetime friendship, can't be one-sided at all. You have to be able to both give something into the relationship, and whether it's small or big or whatever it may be, I think it's just time. I think time is the biggest thing to having a lifetime friendship, time and communication. Because I think without those two, it's just not going to flourish. It really, really, because I think lifetime friendships, they're, at least for me, I'll say, they're the type of friendships where it's now we're at a peak in our friendship where it's just, we're just going through the day to day. Like I'm not just calling you because something tragic happened to me. Or I'm not just calling you because something exciting happened. Like I'm just literally shooting the breeze with you like that.
Yeah, this is what happened today. Work was crazy.
Yeah, work was crazy. Or
like the dinner.
Yeah, like what's for dinner? Okay, that's nice. Like whatever. Like it's not even. It doesn't always have to be so deep. I think that's something with friendship too. Sometimes it don't always have to be so deep. Like just have fun. I definitely have lifetime friends. I definitely have lifetime friends. I've definitely gained some friends in my 30s who, in my late 20s, who I pray are with me till I'm 90. Like I really love their spirit. I love them as people. I admire, as I said, for me with my friends, there's a lot that I admire about them. Hence why I become friends with people. Usually it's because I admire something about that person. And yeah, having lifetime friends is very important. I feel like that's the friendship that really feeds my soul. That's the friendship that really wants me to be the best version of myself every single day. So for me, lifetime friendship is a must. It's a must. I think that you have to love on one another, care for one another, support one another. Because like I said, without community, life just is really boring and really lonely.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Lonely.
Yeah, lonely. Life can be really,
lifetime friends.
Yes, can be really boring and lonely, and just no one wants to live like that. Like we only have one life that we really know of, and you have to live it the best you can live it. Like no one wants to be by themselves. So,
well, here I go. Psychology. As humans,
yeah, there you go.
Alone. So, you should seek these friendships. You should, want to grow with someone in a friendship manner for life. Because, like any plant, it's going to continue to grow.
That's a beautiful way to put it. So I agree. So before we end our episode, the first episode we told you we're going to share something with you that we love, which we forgot to do at the beginning. So what is something you're loving this week, Ray?
I mean, I just moved super far, our, space in Maryland. And I really like the pods. I use the pod, and if y'all got to move far, it was seamless. Like you think it's a lot more work than what it is. It's not. Go ahead and get you a pod. Save you a couple thousand from these big moving companies that want to charge you for every single box. Go ahead and stuff everything in your pod and move it to where you're going. It was seamless. They dropped it off. They picked on time. They give you estimated time. It travels to your new location, and hey, I'm unpacking it now.
Oh, wow. It's there already.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. How long does it usually take? Like,
well, I mean, what did I move? Like 900 plus miles. I don't know. I think it was 900 miles.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, like a week, if that.
Not bad though.
Yeah, that's not bad. If you can wait on your stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm really loving this week. Shout out to Pods if you want to sponsor us. Hey, I had a great experience.
Good. Well, that's
What
good.
about you?
I would say for me, it would have to be a staycation, but not staycation type of trip. As you know, I just came back from one this weekend, and I had a lot of fun.
Honey, you was looking good. Don't skip that
part. I had a lot of fun. Like, y'all, when I tell you, so from Baltimore to New York, you could take the train. It's about 2.5 hours, 3 hours, very easy trip. So that's what I did. And I actually went to Brooklyn. I spent the whole weekend in Brooklyn, which is very rare for me because usually I will stay in Manhattan and never go to any other borough. But it was really nice to be in Brooklyn and be intentional about that. And I stayed at the Ace Hotel, which was amazing. If you ever need to stay in Brooklyn, stay at the Ace Hotel. It is a vibe. Like, when I tell you, I have never been to a hotel. And one thing you guys will learn about me, and one thing Ray knows about me, I am a traveler. Mm-hmm. I like to stay at nice places. I have never stayed at a hotel like this where it is a vibe. Like, to party, I didn't even have to leave the hotel. If I wanted to just turn up, listen to good DJs, meet new people, I didn't even have to leave the lobby of the hotel. Like,
I'm a lazy traveler, so that sounds good. Like, hey, hotel got a restaurant, they got a spa, got everything. I'm staying.
It was so nice. And then just to meet up with friends and try new places. It was just nice. And it was nice to go on technically like a staycation. It was just a weekend. It wasn't even a long weekend. It was just Friday to Sunday and going somewhere different, and was a little bit more cost effective than like taking a flight. So I'm loving that. I feel really refreshed coming back from that. Feel very like excited to do it again sometime soon. And I naturally love New York, it's so funny because earlier this year I posted on Instagram from my other New York trip how refreshed I felt. So I feel like sometimes there's some connection with New York in me. I really just...
You always have a good time.
I do. I love it. And I feel like I'm excited to go on my vacation again next week. Another staycation where I hopefully get to see you. But yeah, it's nice to do little things. I encourage people to do little things like that. Like, even if it's just in your state, wherever you might live, if you can just even get in your car and drive to the next town over and just do a night. Just get a cute little Airbnb, stay a night, try some new restaurants, winery, brewery, a spa, do something, take a class. Like, I encourage that because I do think we as people, we don't take enough time. I always say this, for ourselves, and also just feeding our souls, like feeding ourselves, because change of scenery is that. Life, as we know, can get so mundane and so like routine. And I had felt like from January up until now, it was routine. Like, it was very, very routine. And I really think for me, I'm going, and maybe not this year because the year's almost over, but I really think next year I'm going to be very intentional with taking some type of staycation quarterly, even if I don't travel far, even if it means just one weekend out of that quarter going to a town near me, or getting friends together and let's like do like a cabin or something. Because it's just needed. It's so good. So that's what I'm loving this week. A little staycation action. So you guys, this concludes our episode 2, but we are not done with our series yet. We have our episode 3 coming at you. So make sure you guys tune into that. Make sure you like, subscribe. Thank you for joining us on Her Side of the Story. Stay tuned, of course, like we said, for more episodes. where we explore various aspects of life, love, and everything in between. Don't forget to follow us on social media and subscribe to our podcast for updates and exclusive content. Until next time, keep shining and sharing your side of the story. So we'll see you guys soon.
Peace.
If you enjoyed listening to the podcast, follow us on social media at Her Side of the Story RA. And don't forget to rate the podcast and subscribe. Thank you. See you next time.